All right, folks, so I watched Transformers, and right off the bat, it did not start off promising. One of the first scenes takes place in Qatar, Middle East. They actually said that. Qatar, Middle East. This is just in case we couldn't figure out where Qatar is based on our education or the fact that it's in the desert and U.S. troops are running around and the clothing of all the locals. Honestly, when I saw this, I wasn't terribly sure if they just didn't think too much of their audience's intelligence or if we really shouldn't think too much of theirs. Next, let's talk about the characters. On previous viewings, I generally hated most of the characters. However, on this viewing, the majority of them actually weren't half as bad as I remember. Sam's parents, for example, they were actually tolerable. Um, Sam himself, for the most part, was not as insufferable as I remember him, although, he did have his moments here and there. The Autobots themselves also gave me some problems. I was originally thinking that, they didn't really stick out too much, and that's true, except for the parts where they did. Prime and Bumblebee, they clearly had distinct personalities and everything. Ironhide, who's the weapons expert, he ends up pointing his cannons at them and quotes Dirty Harry. Ratchet, the medical expert, makes this annoying joke about pheromones in Sam, showing he wants to mate with Michaela. Creepy and awkward. And then Jazz. Oh yeah, Jazz. Let's just say this. Being robots and all, the Transformers really don't have a race in the sense that humans do. Yet Jazz has a single line which makes him look like the blackest character in the whole movie. And the guy who plays the world's greatest hacker goes on to play Dre in Blackish. Jazz even busts out and break dances randomly. I don't need to see a robot going, "What's up?" Do some quick breakdance moves and finish with. Among the other characters, there was a secret agent. Now, originally, I was thinking there was one secret agent. I was wrong. There were actually two secret agents in this movie, and in my mind, I lumped them together. The scene where the secret agent comes in and tells the Secretary of Defense that he's from this super secret organization. I was always bothered by that scene. It actually was a lot better than I remember it. I can totally give that one a pass right now. It actually worked, I felt this time. The other secret agent, however, was so much worse and so much more annoying than I remember him. He was every cliche, "I'm a secret agent and you will do everything I say or else," that they could think of. It just wasn't fun to watch this character. Similarly, there was a cop, and this cop had one scene in the whole movie, but he was so over the top, stereotypical cop on a power trip interrogating somebody. It was like these two characters were from a completely different movie that was actually making fun of these stereotypes. They did not fit with the rest of the movie at all. So, yeah, a few of the characters were terrible, but unlike how I remember it, most of the characters actually were okay. However, that doesn't still mean that there wasn't enough stupid to go around in the rest of the movie. The scene where they buy Bumblebee, Sam's dad drops $4,000 on a 30-year-old rust bucket that they don't even bother test driving. Bernie Mac plays the car salesman. He's about as over top as you would expect Bernie Mac to be, so whatever. He's asking $5,000 originally and then $4,000 for a 71 Beetle that is literally falling apart. If that's how this works, folks, let me just tell you right now, I have a 96 Toyota Camry and it can be yours for $25,000. Also, the bidding will start at Let's go $35,000 for my 92 Saturn. But that's only because this was the first car I ever drove, and this is a little special to me. You know, Bernie Mac was right when he said that the driver doesn't choose the car. But he was wrong when he said it's the car that chooses the driver. We chose each other. Now, I've been used car shopping a few times, and I've met some pretty shady dealers. Yeah, this one right here. The 15-year-old Nissan with 200,000 miles on it and a squeaky wheel. I tell you what, you buy this car, you'll come back in 5 years and thank me. I promise you that. That was about 5 years ago. So let me just say, thank you. Thank you for being so shady that I knew right off the bat I shouldn't even trust buying a stick of gum from you, let alone a car. Another big issue with this movie was security, specifically secrecy. There was none by almost anybody. It made absolutely no sense to me that a race that is designed to hide doesn't know a thing about being inconspicuous. Transformers know nothing about not being noticed in this movie. Soundwave walks right out of Air Force One with the Secret Service combing the place for him. Prime and the Autobots transform into giant robots in the middle of a residential neighborhood and wreck the place before even waiting 30 seconds. The thing is, all of them could have reached their objectives so much easier if they all understood the word disguise in the old tagline from the show and toys, robots in disguise. Seriously, these guys are about as subtle as Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster suddenly busting onto the field during a major sporting event and recreating the volleyball scene from Top Gun with Elvis and Jimmy Hoffa. Yeah. Bottom line, no one in this movie is good at keeping secrets. Which brings us to the government, who I was going to say has some pretty lax security, but that would be giving them too much credit. During the credits, we get an interview with Sam's parents asking about so-called alien activity. Now, Sam's parents try to cover this up, saying something about like how the government would certainly tell us if something like that happened. Yeah, well, you just had a dozen giant robots duking it out in the middle of downtown LA in front of crowded stores and restaurants, with the military taking sides. During the battle, a bunch of product placements came to life and attacked people. This included a woman's car, a Mountain Dew machine trying to kill people in ways much less subtle than Mountain Dew usually kills people. Luckily, the Xbox 360 that came to life was an earlier model, so I'm sure the Red Ring of Death kicked in and probably stopped that thing before it could really do too much damage. Full disclosure here, I like Xbox, and I actually watched this movie on the DVD player on my 360. Microsoft, I am not above accepting your money for product placements right here. Either way, yeah. The government probably would say something because in this movie, classified basically means don't tell anyone unless you kind of want to. Remember the British girl and her friends? When we first meet her, the Secretary of Defense comes in and is told that the NSA is recruiting kids right out of high school. Well, apparently being right out of high school and a foreign national apparently opens you up for classified briefings and even being taken into highly classified facilities immediately after getting busted for stealing and passing on classified material. What you're about to see here is totally classified, so all you teenagers pay attention, especially you. That one guy we know absolutely nothing about other than the fact that we brought you here after catching you with stolen classified materials. Also, you as well pay close attention. This kid who we brought here after steal. Aren't you Dre from Blackish? I love that show. Oh, by the way, before you go into this beyond top secret area, do any of you guys have cell phones, cameras, recording devices, anything that could potentially be used to spy on us? No? No? Oh, you do? Okay, good, great, here. All right, okay, cool. And you got one. Okay, good, here. Oh, you've already plugged it into one of our systems. Oh, great, yeah. All right, good. Okay. Oh, this is a nice one. Hey. Oh, that's cool. It's Japanese, right? All right. You know what, guys? You know what? I'm sure you're all cool, especially you, the foreign national who's already stolen from us. We're all good here, guys. It's good. I trust you. Yeah, they're not good at this. Folks, I've taken standardized tests that have better security than this place. I've proctored standardized tests and could have even lost my job if I didn't keep test materials more secure than what's going on in this place. At least tell me Megatron is being kept under a double lock. Another thing I want to talk about in this movie is time travel. Now, I know what you're thinking. There wasn't any time travel in this movie. Well, luckily for you, that means you probably just didn't notice it. Much like the filmmakers. You see, leading to the battle in the end, they couldn't seem to tell what time of day it was. Anytime you have planes scrambling, the sun is on the horizon. This happens again and again. I've also noticed pilots can go from stepping into the cockpit, to taxiing, to takeoff, to going to altitude, to flying to their target, and then making an attack run, all within minutes. So, in the beginning of the movie, there were some soldiers that were attacked by Decepticons. A group of them survive and go on to a local village to try and call for help. When they get there, they're attacked by Scorponok. Either the planes they call can travel through time, or they were just so close to that base that they could have just yelled over to it. Hey guys! Whoa! Giant robot scorpion thing! Blowing stuff up!
Sorry.
See?
We'll send some planes over or something. Should be over like now.
Hey, we got guys hurt over here.
Oh, we could send over a chopper or a jeep or maybe just some guys with a stretcher.
Helicopter would be cool.
Okay, it's on its way. Should be there now.
Oh, hey, it's here. They said it was a Blackhawk. That's not a Blackhawk. So, yeah. Time travel. Probably the best option here for making things make sense. Otherwise, things happen way too fast. Kind of like saying you're going to get a cavity for missing a spot once when you brush your teeth.
Trying to figure out plot hole, meatball.
Hey, I will cover those bristles up. I still have the protector that came with it. Oh, no, I will tie you up, I swear.
You don't have the energy to make me transform, so I don't even have arms. Go ahead, meatball.
There are a bunch of plot holes in this. For example, Sam points out that Megatron wants to use human technology to create more Transformers, and he will use that to take over the universe. The catch is, most of our tech came from reverse engineering Megatron after he arrived on Earth, which means Megatron, who is capable of interstellar travel, planned to use 19th century technology to take over the universe. Behold, the technology of the 19th century. This has hinges, which isn't quite new.
Hey, we got another one.
Hinges swing a little more now. Would you mind giving me some help here?
Oh, sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Hey, what am I even doing here? Yeah, running tied to a plot hole fixed with time travel. You know your clothes aren't period correct by like about 85 years. You heard me?
Let's not forget my trusty pocket watch. Masterpiece of engineering. The time is changing on it. In you go. Wait a second. Megatron actually landed on Earth hundreds, if not thousands of years before they found him. So, what was his master plan? Got some wood here. We could light on fire. So, bottom line, does this movie hold up? Well, I just spent however much time I just spent going over everything wrong with this movie. At the same time, upon viewing this movie, I realized that it wasn't as bad as I remember, which just goes to show how much I thought this was a terrible movie to begin with. And I said earlier I was going to issue an apology, or I was going to keep on hating it. All based on if this was as bad as I remember. Oh, crud. I don't think this deserves an apology, but I'm backed into a corner here. So, Michael Bay, your movie, this specific movie, was not as bad as I remembered it. Sure, it was really kind of overdone and had a few cartoonishly bad characters that really didn't fit anything else in the movie, and most of the jokes just weren't even funny and were really more annoying than that. And parts of the music were lifted straight out of Terminator. Dun 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 dun. But the movie didn't suck as bad as I remember it. So I guess I'm sorry-ish. Mostly. So there. I said it. I am man enough to admit my partial error. And I suppose I maybe was a bit harsh over the years. A bit harsh for your GM commercial and military recruitment drive with additional product placements sprinkled pretty much everywhere else. And I suppose I can forgive you for the fact that you also tried to sell toys with this because it's entirely based on a toy franchise, but I still think I don't like the toys, but whatever. And Steven Spielberg, you executive produced this. And seeing you on the teaser for this alongside Michael Bay was one of the reasons I gave this movie a shot to begin with. You know, Mr. Spielberg, I love your movies. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but Michael Bay is off the hook and you're on notice. So please, please just go back to directing awesome movies again, which is pretty much every movie you've ever made. So please. Well, that just about does it here for us today. Join us next time when I review and review a movie. Take care, folks. Bye.
Like and subscribe, meatballs.